guys, this is Video Psych here, and this video is not scripted, so just bear with me if my speech is a little bit off. But now let's get on to it. So this video is about why women don't approach men as much as men approach women, basically. And I still see that to this day. I mean, definitely nowadays women approach men more often than they used to, but that kind of old-fashioned way of doing things is still somewhat around, where the women, they still kind of expect the man to sometimes make the approach. But kind of like around here in Iowa, that's kind of what it seems like, how it's expected sometimes in certain areas, or in a lot of areas in Iowa actually. But without further ado, what else should I say? So, of course, the question is, why is this the case? And it's somewhat due to survival instincts, actually. And what I mean by that, I'll explain in detail, or I'll try to. There are a lot of men that think that the reason why women tend to let the guy make the approach is because of that they think they are afraid to be rejected. And, that could maybe be the case sometimes, but, the truth of the matter is that I've noticed actually a lot of guys doing this now, where they actually try to let the female actually make the approach. In fact, from what I've seen, it's actually even a lot better if the women tend to approach, actually. It seems to work out a lot better. I mean, just like, the women in my Christian school, like, I don't think a single one of them knew how to, react to men. I mean, if you approach a woman and you're nice to them sometimes, there's some women that don't know how to react to that when a guy approaches them and they're nice to them. And you could even just not even be hitting on them and just talking to them sometimes. And sometimes they might assume that, you're interested in them, and they might not feel the same way. And then they might, get scared. And, there's also kind of the stereotype about men raping women and blah, blah, blah. And, I think that's part of what women sometimes are afraid of when they don't know how to react to men. It's for an understandable reason sometimes, but, they get scared like that because they don't feel the same way about you. And, so they freak out, because they're trying to defend themselves from being raped or being manhandled or whatever, by creeps. That's just how some women react, because they don't know how to react to men. And, that's just what I've just figured out over time. Just like, a lot of men don't know how to talk to women, but, at the same time, women don't exactly know how to react to men either. So I don't know why women are always pointing the finger at the man when they don't know how to react. Well, actually, in a sense, I actually do, but, I just don't want to, actually. Because what that really is, it's a survival instinct. It's a survival instinct to keep them from looking bad in front of everybody else, because what they are trying to be more socially attentive is what they're trying to do. And that is the case of the man approaching the woman. They're trying to make you approach them because they want to pay attention to the way you control the conversation, for one, and two, they are also trying to focus on your body language and, the look in your face. And, depending on the woman, they could be thinking of any kind of thing. They could be thinking, Will this guy be good in bed? Will this guy be a good husband? Will he take care of my children when he makes love to me? Will this person leave me when I have kids? Or will this person be a good person? Will this person be fun to be around? Etc., etc., etc. With all that information within a couple of minutes or so. And, so depending on the way you approach that's just kind of how it goes. Although, of course, nowadays that's kind of starting to change where it could be the opposite nowadays. And I've actually talked to a lot of women about this, that's a lot more men seem to be more afraid to approach. And they seriously are. And it is for a reason. But of course, that's another video. Or another topic for another time, basically. And, I was talking to this one woman lately, and she's like, all these guys, they just seem like they're afraid. And it's just like, no, it's not that they're afraid. It's just that they are trying to defend themselves. That's all. I mean, when you approach somebody, that's just how it is. And if there is something that they either don't like about you or something that seems a little weird or off, that's just how it works. I don't make the rules. I just tell you the rules. But anyway, so that is at least basically the reason. And as far as that other topic I was talking about, maybe I'll talk about it some other day, but it's a long story. Although some of this stuff I've talked about in other videos, I suggest you check out some of my other videos on social behavior, basically psychology. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.